Yeah, including videos circulating online are showing fresh protests in the southern metropolis of Guangzhou, as well as in two additional cities. I want to show you the videos that we've been monitoring and verifying for you here at CNN. Fresh protests taking place Tuesday night in Guangzhou. As you can see there, hazmat-clad security forces also bearing shields, bearing down on protesters in a district there. In other videos, we see protesters hurling what appears to be empty water bottles at security forces, and then the security forces responding and dispersing the crowds with tear gas. We also have video from nearby Dongguan, which is a major manufacturing hub also in the south of the country. And in this video, it's taking place at a COVID-19 testing center. You hear the protesters. They are repeatedly chanting a mantra. They're saying, lift the lockdown, lift the lockdown. And also in Jinan, more protests taking place there. This is the capital of Shandong province in the east of the country. Very testy scenes between protesters and, again, those hazmat-clad security forces there, with the protesters taking barriers and attempting to use them to hurl them against the security forces. As of today, and we want to show you the map now, this is an updated map. As of today, CNN was able to verify that there are 23 COVID-related protests have taken place across 17 cities across China. The pressure is on for China and its authorities to find a way out of its punishing zero COVID policy. And on Tuesday, we did hear from Chinese health officials attempting to address concerns, especially in regards to lockdown. We do have a statement from a senior official at the CDC, Cheng Youchuan, who said this, quote, long-term closed-off management will not only impact the general public's normal life, but also trigger anxiety and create difficulties in daily life. Such wrongful practices, he says, must be addressed and avoided, unquote. Chinese officials on Tuesday, they also announced an action plan to roll out booster shots, vaccinations for a very vulnerable portion of Chinese society, for the elderly. That is, of course, a key hurdle for China to inch towards any form of reopening. Welcome news, but experts also point out that China needs better vaccines, and China also needs a plan to figure out how to deliver more vaccinations, more booster shots to the entire population in a timely way. Back to you, Paula.
Yeah, and when you say timely, this is something that is going to take months, if not longer, to get sorted one way or the other. You know, you've also been tracking the economic fallout from all of this. What more do we know about the lockdown that's now been lifted at the site of the world's largest iPhone factory?
Yeah, we continue to keep an eye on the situation in Zhengzhou. As you recall, just last week, we were reporting on the violent protests and the clashes taking place there between the Foxconn factory workers and between security forces there. It's just been announced the 5-day lockdown has been lifted. Very welcome news for the manufacturer, Foxconn, and of course for Apple, as their output of iPhones and iPhone 14s have been affected. Last week, angry clashes there because the factory workers, they had enough of the COVID controls. They also complained about sanitary conditions inside the factory. They were working inside a closed loop system, and they also were angry about pay. Now that the lockdown has been lifted, and Apple and Foxconn are now anticipating that they can make up for that production shortfall that they've lost over the last few weeks. Back to you.
Yeah, extraordinary that workers there basically felt like they were in prison while at work when all of that was going on. Kristie, really appreciate the update.
Thank you.